What's up, everyone? It's Jeremy from Rogue Realm Studios, and I'm going to show you this script I made with ChatGPT because I could not find this anywhere on the internet. It could exist, but I couldn't find it. So I do lyric videos, and the most tedious thing about doing lyric videos is syncing the lyrics to the song. So usually you have your song put in the timeline and you listen through using the period key, and then you set your markers, and then you create the text layers, copy the text layer, or copy it from the notepad or whatever, and put it in text layer, put it in the timeline, go to the marker, trim the layer. It's a huge process. Even if you're doing line by line, it's a huge process. It's worse when you're doing word by word. So what I've been trying to do for like months is trying to figure out a way to automate that process. And so far, the closest thing I found was the text generator, which was this. So this script, this is free. You can put in your lyrics here and then have it line for line, word for word, whatever you need. And then you can create this and it will generate text here, so you don't have to type it all in, which was pretty good to at least cut down that workflow, so I didn't have to go in and create all the text layers. That caught off some time, but still it doesn't automate it. So after going through this, so let's just go all the way up. So I created a chatbot conversation After Effects questions. So I asked it, what is the fastest way to sync lyrics to a song while making a lyric video in the program After Effects? It basically gave me what I do, but even worse, using time stretch tool and all this. No. And the ChatGPT bot can't be wrong. That's the thing. It can be wrong, and if you feed it that it was wrong, it will try to correct it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, whatever. And then I asked it, is it possible to automate syncing lyrics to a song in After Effects using a JSON file and an AE script? Because After Effects can read JSON files, which is basically data that you feed into it, and you can run, you can link that data too. I don't really need it to link, I just need it to pull the data from that file to generate text layers and generate the data so the source text changes and the times of where that layer starts and stops. And once it gave me yes, it is possible. Even if it was wrong, it gave me the confidence to try it. But it also gave me this, such as text-to-speech script or text syncer script. This doesn't exist. The text-to-speech script, which I couldn't, I mean it could have, but I couldn't find it. All I found was this. But also, a text-to-speech is not what I need. I don't need text-to-speech at all. I just need something for syncing. Text Syncher I've heard of, and it's this. And it's $35, but they do a trial run, which was awesome because I needed to see if it would even be possible. So I downloaded this, and then I tried using it, but let's see, how to format, I was just making sure I was formatting my JSON file. I'll get to that in a second. Here's the big thing. I asked it, how do you run text syncer script to pull the data off the formatted lyric.json file? So I basically wanted to know, how do you use this script to pull the data off? And it gave me instructions, and I was like, cool, it's possible. But later on, I was just waiting because I was gonna buy it. This was before I knew there was a trial. So just like generic After Effects questions I've been asking. And then I got back is it? Right here. I got back to it. I asked it again a few days later. And it tells you step by step on how to do it, but in right here in TextScriptor window, click the browse button next to the JSON file field and select the lyric.json file from your project. The thing is, this doesn't exist. There's no browse button in the TextSyncher window. The way TextSyncher works is more for like speeches, for mono track audio files. If there's any music or whatever, it doesn't sync well at all. Sometimes it doesn't work, but that just doesn't work at all because you can't import a JSON file into the script. So I told it that. I said there's no browse button, and then it said blah blah, I'm sorry, maybe do this. And I was like, this is way too complicated, it's probably not even gonna work. And then I just asked it, can you write After Effects scripts? And I kind of knew it did, but I just wanted to make sure. And it said yes, cool. And then I fed it what I needed, and it shat out this, which is a great starting point. So I ran this script multiple times using the extend script thing for After Effects. The only shitty thing, mine just for some reason does not hook up to my After Effects, so I can't live do it. I just basically work on it here, save it, and then restart After Effects. It was a pain in the ass. You can do the same thing in Visual Studio Code. I don't know why I didn't start in this, because it's a lot easier for me, but basically I worked it in here. So I just went back and forth, blah blah blah. Basically every error it was coming up, I was feeding it what errors I was getting, so it was trying to fix it. And the main errors I was getting is it was having a hard time parsing the JSON file. So JSON.parse. So that went back and forth for a while, and then where is it? Right here. I just kept saying I'm still having the same issues, and because it kept saying After Effects couldn't read JSON files, it wasn't supported because it didn't know what version I had, and I told it I was running 2020, basically After Effects 17, I think. Then it gave me this link to install this, this json2.javascript file, and to put include at the top of your script, your code. So that's where this went. And then I was really confused because I was like, do I need to have this file into every project I run, or can I just like save it into the script folder? And you can. So you just save this JavaScript next to wherever your script is going to be, which is in the scripts folder and the scripts UI panel. You can have it just in the scripts. If you don't want a panel, you can just hit the script and have it run. But I wanted to make something that has a UI. So once I got that, then it started actually popping up with the dialog box to import the JSON file. So I was able to actually choose the JSON file and run the script. And then I kept getting some errors about, what was it? The JSON file is undefined. So once I clicked on it, it was running and saying it was undefined. So where is it? An error message says that app might not be undefined. I think it was certain wording it used. It gave me basically a new code, which I just replaced. And then it was having some issues with app being a variable, and then application view. It just gave me different codes over and over again, and I kept saying, no, this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working. And then I basically re-asked it a whole new script. I was like, okay, let's just start from scratch, because my code was looking horrendous at this point. And I was like, okay, just rewrite me a new code. And it rewrote me a new code, and then I got the same thing, JSON is undefined, blah blah. It told me to download that again, and then and I got past this finally, and I got to line 21 where I was having issues, which this was the furthest that it would go through the code, then give me an error. Basically unable to call set value because parameter 1 value is undefined. Basically where it was giving me an error, I was like, what is this doing? And then I basically took where I was getting the error from, the whole chunk. I said, can you rewrite this code so I don't get errors? And this catch error part basically fixed it, because I got rid of the de-alert, because it was dinging every time it was erroring, and I had 63 layers of text so I was trying to generate, so it would give me 63 error messages. It was hell. But once I got rid of the alert, it was finally generating text layers, creating a comp, doing everything, so it was running fine now, and I was able to pull or get the JSON file, but it wasn't pulling the data. It was generating the text layers, it was doing everything right but pulling the data. So I went back and forth asking why this is not working properly. And then I was curious because I was pretty sure my JSON file was formatted correctly. And I'll show you how I formatted my JSON file. So before I even started doing any of this, I was just curious if there was any lyric syncer or lyric sync generate anything online, and I found this. Basically what this does is you paste your lyrics in here. So let's grab some lyrics real quick. So this lyrics. Okay, so you grab your lyrics, you copy it, you paste it. Next step, then you choose your audio file, which is right here. Perfect. Next step. So what you do is you play the audio right here, and when the line shows up, you hold spacebar, and then when the line's done, you let go. Super easy. So as a test,
I wish something in my life would go back. Like sometimes I want it out of my hands. My shoulders are tired because they...
oh, that's why. I was like, I didn't copy all the lyrics, but you get the gist. So you do that, you hit save, and it gives you a JSON file, which looks like this. Let me close or minimize all of this. So where is it? Sync lyrics, here it is. So it's going to give you something like this, except it does not look like this, it's not formatted like this, it just goes around like constantly, it doesn't break. I broke it up just because I wanted to make sure what was happening. You don't have to do this. So it gives you a line, it's the lyric right here, the first line, and then it gives you a start and the end time in seconds. And it does that for every line of code. Or lyric, sorry. So once you're done with that, so you have the JSON file. Now, I was wondering, so I asked it, how does it need to be formatted? And it gave me this right here. So it gave me text, which would be your where it says line on mine, and then verse 1, so your lines of lyrics, and then start and end time. But it's trying to do as like sections, but same exact format. And I was like, okay. So I gave it the code from my JSON file and saying, is this correct? And it said, based on your example, it seems like it's formatted correctly, but the closing brackets, I was like, whatever. That was just me missing a closing bracket. But then I kept feeding it, and then it says it's correct, but it says the object line property, so this line right here, and the start and end, it said this might be an issue because it's not text, and it's not start time and end time, because in my code it says start time, end time, and text. And I was like, oh, I just have to change the wording to be line and start and end. So just get rid of time and change text to line. And once I did that, it worked. It finally worked. And this is what I made. Oops, wrong window. That was my first version. Second version. There it is. So now you browse, you select your lyric JSON file here, you hit OK. It loads, it says lyrics imported successfully. So it creates a comp, 1920 by 1080. You can change this if you work more in 4K. You can change this in the code. It's super easy, and I admit it makes it 10 minutes long. I'm still working on the code to make it the length of the song, or at least the length of the lyrics, and then 24 frames per second. And once you open that, all the hard work is done. They're all here. The only problem is, which I'm trying to see if there's a solution, if not, this doesn't take that much time, is there's little gaps. Because when I work on lyric videos, I like the lyrics to touch at least. I mean, if there's a huge gap in the song, then it's fine, but I like to have the lyrics touch and animate in between each other. But this is all synced now, and you just have to go through and scale them and do what you need to do. The code centers text based off the anchor point, and the anchor point is set here. I'm working on the code right now, so it generates it so the anchor point's in the center, but you can just select all of them and do the Control Alt Home pattern. Basically puts it in the center of the text layers and then centers it, and then everything's centered. And that's basically my new sleek Syncher script that took me basically 4 or 5 days, but basically 6 hours one sitting to create. Yeah, so this is how I do it, and I'm still working on the code as we speak. Right here, it's on GitHub right now. It's private, but without this, so I think Wanu Haido. Without this, I wouldn't be able to do this. So go fucking support him. You can send him money to do the buy me a coffee, which I'm going to, because this has made my job super easy. And obviously ChatGPT bot, I've been running back and forth using this, trying to create this script, and I'm still using this to perfect it, which is insane, because now I can focus on what the fun parts of motion graphics. The fun part of lyric videos is animating and stylizing the video. The tedious stuff is basically done now. All I have to do is go in and fine tune it, which I'm fine with doing, and it creates a whole comp ready to go. But yeah, if you guys are interested in buying this, I am trying to upload it to AE Script and give it to everyone, because this is like amazing, and I'm working on the code right now to perfect it right now, and hopefully find someone to help me perfect it, because I'm a noob when it comes to this. As you can see, it just says object static text. No idea how to get rid of that, and I want to be able to enable motion blur and all that stuff, like have it as an option. I want to add a generate text button, and like I basically just want to make this look prettier and make it more optimizable for people's workflows. But it's not bad for 6 hours. Yeah, so let me know if you guys enjoyed this. I know this was like all over the place, but I usually don't do these type of videos, and this was crazy. And I know I'm not explaining a lot of like what I went through with the ChatGPT, but I kind of don't want to, because I took the time to try to figure this out, and I kind of just don't want to give it away. But yeah, if you need help or have any questions, or if you guys would want to use this script, let me know, because I'm trying to get it out there for people to use. I'm not trying to charge a crazy price for it, but I did take a lot of time to try to figure this out by myself. Yeah, thank you guys so much, and I will catch you later.